allow the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mic. It's okay.
She
Off your mic.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego diary politico, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìí yẹ. Mayegun máa wí. àníyàn sọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa mi.
Àníyàn sọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti.
Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you, dear Templars. This is Máyégún Live. Thank you very much for joining me again. And please, if you have read the caption of the broadcast, always remember to read the description of the broadcast as well. Like the broadcast, which is your offering. Share it. To invite your friends and your not so friendly friends. Tell all of them that Máyégún today. Thank you. Tonight, we are starting from the book of Lamentation, Kwakwanso chapter, maybe chapter 3, and whatever verse you think it is at as we speak. This is from Kwakwanso, the former ally. I don't know if they are still allied though. The former ally to thiefnubu, and a very strong member of the APC, Egbekegbe at infancy, during formation years of APC, Egbekegbe. I don't know what prompted this vituperation of Kwakwanso, but it seems to be raising some very, very scary political, dust. He went for the broke and he announced, as if on behalf of the northern Nigeria, he announced to who care to listen that the Lagos boys are plotting to colonize the northern Nigeria. How? According to Kwakwanso, the tax reform of thiefnubu is an indirect move or plot to recolonize northern Nigeria economically, and also to alert the northerners that this Lagos boy is talking about thiefnubu and his men. They are so daring that they are beginning to interfere in their choosing of the choosing of their emirs. I am going to break all of that down for you if you are not in a rush. Okay? On Máyégún's Diary Political, I am a storyteller. But my storytelling is quite interesting because they are not make-believe stories. They are real-life events, true life stories that affect real people, real humans, the ones that exposes the victims of all of these political shenanigans, conspiracies, and so on. So if you are not in a rush, sit back, relax, and let us delve into it. Because also tonight, Duhala or Bulaba, Daniel Bulaba, has resumed officially, okay, as a thiefnubu's spokesperson, the person that replaced Akuri Nigalielie. Yeah. That's Kojafin Kojoyinbo. That's what Yoruba call people like that. Say Kojafin Kojoyinbo. Akuri Nigalielie, the one that will lie, with straight face. And if you dare kind of like a fact check him, it will double down and tell you that you should check again. Akuri Nigalielie, the guy who came back from the overblown budget or travel to UAE. And he came back to announce to everybody that the UAE had lifted the visa ban on Nigeria when they hadn't, or when they didn't. Akuri Nigalielie was the one who went to India with thiefnubu last year, September, and announced that thiefnubu signed $14 billion investment deal with India. 14 kobo, they no sign up. Akuri Nigalielie, a legend from the school of thought of Laya Muhammad. And so, all of a sudden, Akuri Nigalielie was said to have challenged the Ezibida Bayo Onofunuga in a bit of a seniority or rivalry stuff. So, and because now tribalism lanje, so Akuri Nigalielie had to leave for Bayo Ezibida Onofunuga. The man that replaced him now is called Duhala Bulaba Dani. So we are going to touch that also tonight. And then Obasanjo, they took Obasanjo to the cleaners. The thiefnubu's rogues, the thiefnubu's ass lickers, the all-risers. Yeah, but somehow, a lot of Nigerians came in, to defense of Obankparo Obasanjo. So let's start from this colonialist alarm, because according to Kwakwanso, the tax reform of thiefnubu is an indirect way of taking everything back to Lagos. You know, thiefnubu want to begin to collect taxes for everybody and stop the state from collecting their taxes where they used to collect the taxes. And if people must know, Northerners must rise and ensure that thiefnubu's tax reform never passes. Meanwhile, it has already passed the second reading. Once these guys resume, I think later this month or so, the Akpabioli's Senate will possibly pass it, and that will be it. So we will get to that. But let's first hear from Kwakwanso, the man. Let me tell you this one before we listen to him, okay? The man that was never a friend to Sanusi Sanusi. Now, Sanusi Sanusi happened to be somebody who was a very corrupt individual, very, very corrupt. He was spending the central bank of money as if to say it belonged to his forefathers, as the piggy bank or pocket money of his, a piggy bank of his forefathers. Sanusi Sanusi was everywhere, sharing money, stealing money, and when he was about to be caught, red-handed, he just dropped the bombshell. $50 billion missing. 50 billion. Jonathan, you know, that time was the time when Goodluck Jonathan was being accused of being so corrupt, so weak, and all of that, right? Boom. thiefnubu and his gang, right? They just started feeding on that. How the money has been diverted by, Jonathan and all of that stuff. While everybody is looking for the $50 billion of the NNPC money that was missing, it became obvious that Sanusi was under investigation for corruption. So boom, Jonathan just removed him, sacked him. And in order for him not to go to jail, it was the same Kolu thiefnubu that flew straight to Kano. Then the Emir of Kano just died. The kingmakers in Kano, they've suggested 3 names. Sanusi was not part of the names, but they had to quickly do it as Okuoru. We cannot lose this. It's a very important instrument in trying to make sure that we unseat this Jolantano. If you, Kwakwanso, as governor of Kano, if you can power that, sorry that I'm using some Yorubas that some of you won't understand. I'm sorry, but I just have to put it that way. Say I like to power that. That means we have to use some, abracadabra. In this case, what kind of a thing Like you say, I will link back when you rub my back, I rub your back off a thing, right? If you can, please, Sanusi Sanusi was supposed to be from the Emirate lineage as well, but he's never considered to be an emir, so to say, right? And I know that you are not in good time with him because of his mouth and all that. But you know something? If you can make him the next emir, quick, right? That means Jonathan cannot arrest him because it will kind of turn the entire northern Nigeria against himself. But if you can do that, I will support you for president in 2015. Kwakwanso just bought it. And that was how Sanusi became emir of Kano. And so many people in Kano were not really in good tandem with that. True story. But when Kwakwanso was governor, Gandollar, the Babariga mobile banking CEO, was deputy governor. So Gandollar was going to succeed Kwakwanso at the time. And they were both in PDP. If you remember, they were in PDP, but they just crossed over, to start APC. I don't know if some of you probably remember that the leaders of APC, today, they were mostly from PDP as well. Well, that one is like an old story, so don't worry. So Gandollar, at the time, a born criminal, a thief, a kleptomaniac, here you get, was deputy to Kwakwanso. So they had to do it, hoping that, Kwakwanso will become presidential candidate of this new party that they are putting together. Long story short, Kwakwanso was sacrificed for Bokohari, but Sanusi became emir. Good luck, Jonathan couldn't touch him anymore. And at the end of the day, it worked. The whole permutation worked. Bokohari and their terrorists that they brought closer to the border of Nigeria, that in case if Jonathan failed to accept, if Jonathan failed to concede to them, Nigeria will become history. That was the plan. And Jonathan was so scared stiff that he let them have their way. But it is to further kind of put them, expose them in all of their munafikina pain. Because the thief from Central Bank, Sanusi, okay, immediately he became emir. He started spending the money of the Emirate, like the way he was spending the money of Central Bank. Within a year, Sanusi don't spend over 1.2 billion naira. Emirate spent billion. This is now when they spend money. You get. Then he started talking about Gandollar. Gandollar won't take it. Remember, Kwakwanso is no longer the governor. Gandollar is now the governor. So when it was time for Gandollar to go for second term, Sanusi and his gang said Gandollar cannot go for second term after releasing the video of him stealing money. Collecting money, bribe in dollars. Gandollar was like, "I yield that." You do you think you are a saint? You think you are better than me because you are speaking this? What do you call it? Acne English. We be thief. All of us be thief. And this Emirate where you did call yourself Emir self. Now we arrange them. Now we run them for you. You won't come take me shine, Abi. And so Gandollar, after winning or rigging himself for the second term, he had over brutal. Here you get. Gandollar come break the Emirate into 5. Remove Sanusi, send them to somewhere called Lawe, like Iburere Nibu. By then, Gandollar and Kwakwanso, trailer don't pass their midst. They don't turn to political enemies. True story. Now, fast forward to 3 years or so later, in 2023, Kwakwanso returned with a bang, a new party, NNPP, and a zones to G was declared winner of a Kano State governorship election. So it was time to pay Gandollar back in his own coin. They removed his own Emir Ado Bayero, returned Sanusi. So Sanusi, as we speak right now, is now the Emir of Kano admin. when Ado Bayero is Emir of Kano Academy. So Kwakwanso has been told that in 2027, whether not by hook or by crook, thiefnubu, they must deliver Kano. The result has been written. That is why Kwakwanso has now turned to a philosopher again. That these Lagos people, they want to choose Emir for them. Because by 2027, he once said the INEC rewrited the result and they kick all of them out of Kano. Whether on a go when kind of politics of thiefnubu, right? And if you say Sanusi loses Sanusi, they go remove him again. Shogun Layeni. Or Kwakwanso is kind of making it look like, in the interest of the North, we must rise and stop thiefnubu and his gang. That is where we, hang on, where's my clip? Right, that is where we are going to start this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, Kwakwanso.
Today, we are aware that the Lagos young men are working so hard to impose taxes and take away our taxes from Kano and this part of the country to Lagos. Today, as we have seen, even the telephones that we make or register here in Kano, the efforts are there for them to take all the taxes to Lagos. Even our sons and daughters who have got factories, many of them here in Kano and northern Nigeria, and even banks, because somehow they are forced to take their headquarters to Lagos, taxes will now have to go to Lagos. We have seen the efforts of some people to make the poor poorer and the rich richer. And I believe this is very dangerous for all of us. This part of the country today is suffering from serious economic crunch, is suffering from serious insecurity, suffering from poverty, hunger, diseases. I believe this is not good for the existence, the cordial existence of our country. At this moment, I would like to call on our National Assembly members to keep their eyes open so that they don't do anything that will cheat the people of northern Nigeria, especially here in Kenya. We are witnesses to what happened during the first term, 1999 to 2003, where our members of the National Assembly were bribed, were tricked into collecting huge sum of money to support onshore, offshore in this country. That law put a huge blow into our economy, not only here in northern Nigeria, but all other states that are not bordering the coast. Let me also, at this moment, congratulate the proprietor of this university.
Nuisance Lele.
That is Kwakwanso. Currently, they are taking the guys around him one by one. And is practically just telling those who care to listen that if he goes down, if these guys succeed in taking me out politically, all of us are going down new. But if he had said that directly, here you get now, it would have been much like exposed him. Okay, so that's why he's using this is a thiefnubu, although is right to some extent on that issue of tax reform, but is not totally right. Here is the right part. Thiefnubu and his gang, they have put together a mechanism where the same thing they did in Lagos, and they also tried in Osun. They did it in Edo to some extent, but it's a bit different nationally now, okay? And what was that? Every state has what is called the Internal Revenue Service. So they are those responsible for collecting all taxes by law. Then the federal government also have what is called the FIRS, Federal Inland Revenue Service. But it is not the only one collecting taxes, because taxes varies, tariffs and other stuff, right? Custom they collect, immigration they collect, police said they collect tariff. So the point here is this, right? When Tinubu became the governor of Lagos, what he did was that some guys came with a brilliant idea of how to harmonize the tax collection. That if it is harmonized, the state will collect more. Usually you have the states, you have the local government collecting their own taxes. They have their own places where they collect taxes from, like markets, you know, motor park, playground, all those places for local governments. The states, right, they have their own places of collecting taxes and all that. Here you get like tenement rate. No, I think local government collect tenement rates as well. Then the federal government, they have places where they collect their own taxes too, okay, across the country. And they have the mechanism they use in collecting these taxes. They will now remit the money. But when these guys, I mean, when the thiefnubu came, the alpha beta, right, was an idea of some guys who offered themselves as consultants, that they will build a system where they will identify the places and those who are supposed to be paying taxes and ensuring that they pay. So in return, they will be given 5% of the money. So that was the deal. So when thiefnubu got the idea, he kicked the guys out. They now rewrote everything, okay, renamed the group. And that was the beginning of Alpha Beta, all right? So in that Alpha Beta, there's also something called Remita. Remita, which is like the name of his wife, Remi, thiefnubu. So Remita. So Alpha Beta is the consultant. The machine that collects your money and remit it to the state government is called remitter. So which means Alpha Beta find and, you know, discovers who should be paying, okay, and bring everybody to the same payment platform. But the processing, the processing software or the processing company is another one. So making it two of them. So these two now work together for Lagos State. That's FIRS. Meanwhile, the idea was pretty much supposed to have been adopted by LIRS, Lagos Inland Revenue Service. But they decided to set up an outright independent consultant, tax consultants agency, Alpha Beta. So instead of collecting 5% as those guys who drafted the proposal, the idea, Tinubu is collecting 30% of all the revenues collected before they will remit the rest to Lagos State. And whatever they remit to Lagos State is what Lagos State will. So those who are working in the supposed LIRS, Lagos Inland Revenue, they pretend to be working with Alpha Beta. So they don't do anything per se. Sure, you get, all right? In fact, once in a while, they go out, okay? They go out wearing the LIRS to pretend that they are actually working, but they are not the ones in charge. So to go outside, to go and intimidate people of why they have not paid, you need to pay. So Alpha Beta uses the LIRS guys, right, as enforcers. But when the money comes in, it goes to Alpha Beta. So Alpha Beta come out, they will remove their own 30% and give the rest to Lagos State. And truly, it increased the IGR of Lagos astronomically. So as Lagos State declares, oh, we are now making 200 billion a year, oh, we are now making 400 billion, oh, we are now making 600 billion a year. So imagine what 30%, because this is like after Alpha Beta has removed their own 30%. Oh, that's when Lagos State will say, oh, we are now making 1 trillion naira a year. You understand now? So Tinubu and his gang now put together a reform that is now before the National Assembly. Once it is passed, that similar thing will now be replicated all over Nigeria. So what they did in Lagos was that places where local government was supposed to be collecting taxes, now state they collect them. Places where, it was supposed to be like local government or state to share you get. So they have taken charge of almost everywhere that local government was supposed to be making money. And they are left with harassing the people on the street, harassing the alabarus, and then the cat pushers for order, share you get. So what Kwakwanso is now saying is that with Tinubu's reform, FIRS, Federal Inland Revenue Service of Nigeria, they will become almost useless, but they will still be functional because they will be like enforcers. So this independent tax company will now be collecting all the taxes for all the 36 states in Nigeria. Remember, federal government have their own places of collecting taxes. States have theirs. And there are taxes that, states should collect and, federal government should collect. So with this reform, the federal government will kind of be empowered to collect these taxes on behalf of the state and redistribute them. This is the deal. Let's say VAT, for example, is supposed to be, it's called consumption tax. When you buy a recharge card and you are making calls, the VAT, value-added tax on that. When you buy soft drink, everything you shall buy, here you get now, there is a VAT on it, as they are charging you money for buying those things. Those companies, they remit the VAT tax on that. For example, the VAT in Nigeria is 7.5%. It's going to be 10% in January, though, right? So which means if you buy a Coca-Cola, and that Coca-Cola is, for example, 200 naira, yeah? So 10% of 200 naira will be how much? 20 naira. So every can of Coca-Cola you buy for 200, 20 naira will be remitted to federal government. But it was supposed to be remitted to the states, okay? And the states will now give some of it to federal. But with what they are pushing right now, it simply means now federal government will collect them. And they will now share the money according to how much they make from your states. So it would have been a very good thing. But here is the dark side to it. Thiefnubu-nomic, Thiefnubu style. Now I explain now. So let's say Lagos State is the most populous state in Nigeria. It's got, according to them, I'm using their record though, according to them, Lagos State has over 25 million people. The next state to Lagos State is Kano. Kano State have the population of about 14 million or 18 million or something. I'm using their figure now. Please don't, this is not my figure, not demo. Lagos State have the population of 25 million. Kano State have the population of 18 million. So if I'm using VAT now, so if value added tax in Lagos is somewhere around 40 billion naira, the value added tax they collect in Kano is less than 5 billion naira. Yeah, that's it, you know. Now, what Kwakwanso is saying is that, sorry, what thiefnubu and his gang are saying is that if we take VAT from your states, we will give you 60%, and federal government will keep 40%. So Lagos State is the richest state in Nigeria, with consumption tax, with almost all taxes that, you know, they are the richest. So what they usually do is that when they collect all this money, they share the money according to population. And Northern Nigeria, they contribute, in total, they contribute less than 30% of all of the taxes collected in Nigeria. They contribute far, far less. But when they share the money, Northern Nigeria takes more than 40% of the money shared. So which means they put in less and they take more. So this thiefnubu's reform is going to make the North poorer, because states like Zamfara, Nasarawa, Borno, I'm using all these examples of some of these states, okay? They have a population, but they don't have money. So that means if they make, for example, they make 100 million naira from Zamfara as VAT, so they will give them 60 million. But usually, if they collect all these taxes from everywhere, Zamfara or Borno, Zamfara may collect more than 300 million naira from that share of the money. But with the thiefnubu's reform, Zamfara will collect exactly what they put in percentage. Kano State, who's in fact, their money is more than that, okay? Their own VAT is more than like 5 billion. So let's say 7 billion. So normally, right, Kano State will collect maybe like 3 billion, for example, right? Lagos State that contributes over 40 billion. Lagos State will collect like maybe 9 billion. The remaining 31 billion from Lagos State will be shared to others. But with thiefnubu's reform, Lagos State will collect more money. And the poorest states in Nigeria, who have no real contribution, they will collect less money. So what that means is that every state should go and work hard and make sure that they have more money to contribute. But for thiefnubu, it no matter. Ogata, that means whether the company make money or the company no make money, or here you get, thiefnubu go make money. Because what will happen at the end of the day is that his own private company will be the one collecting the money and removing his own percentage. So if he is taking 30% from Lagos for working in Lagos alone, now he's going to have the whole Nigeria to himself. He doesn't need 30%, maybe just 10% of that money. That's how much he will be making. And that will make him a multi-billionaire just for collecting taxes for you alone. And a lot of them knows that. So to people like Kwakwanso from Kano, he believes that it's just going to make these Lagos people richer. thiefnubu and his gang, they're just going to be so rich. Every other thing he said in that video, they are just bollock, nonsense. But that is something that he is trying to make as a point. I said it's going to make them poorer. They are already suffering. They are already there, facing diseases. They are blah, 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 blah. But the primary thing they say, by 2027, the Emir of Kano, admin, Sanusi will be removed once Kwakwanso and his gang, once they lose power in Kano. Here you get now. So, and with the way the cloud is gathering, now only Mumu, they go into election with APC, Egbekegbe, only Mumus. The whole thing is already written. And the likes of Kwakwanso and gang, they are living on the borrowed time. So somehow, it can spur the, it can actually like get all these northern politicians in their usual way, it can get them, it can rile them up. And they can begin their opposition to thiefnubu. But this thiefnubu, the one that is consolidating power in Nigeria, then they would have to try more. In my own opinion, no. They would have to what? Try more. Because this one is not here to play fear and play, free fear with anybody. It is either his way or the highway. So let's leave Kwakwanso for now. Yeah? And quickly stop by in the Asshole Rock, where thiefnubu is gearing up, putting together the supposed spinners. Daniel Bulaba Duhala has resumed officially today as the replacement for Akuri Nigalielie, the one Kojafinko that got removed for insubordination against Bayo Ezibida Onofunuga. And his first engagement with the media in the Asshole Rock today goes thus. Bulaba, please introduce yourself.
I want to start before the remark by appreciating all of you. Most of you, we know each other probably informally before now. We may have met in different places and events. And some of you have appeared in your programs for interview in a different capacity. And so officially, I want to start today by appreciating Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Republic, for the exceptional honor and privilege that he has given to me by appointing me as a special advisor on media and public engagement State House. And so as the official spokesman of the President, I want to assure you all of my unalloyed commitment and support and collaboration. What happens is you have two responsibilities between the government and the people, and you hold the government accountable on behalf of the people. What you demand from government is accountability. What the government expects from you is fair reporting and fair play. And I want to give you my own commitment. I have joined a pool of very wonderful, resourceful media aid of the President, and we work as a team. But I want to guarantee you that if you have any issue that you want to find out, verify, or communicate to the government, I will always be available, to discuss with you. So my appreciation is to the President as a man of courage who has considered me worthy to appoint me as his spokesman, special advisor on media and public communication, and will ensure that in communicating on behalf of the President to the Nigerian people, we do our best in the discharge of our function. We are going to be honest with you. Government is not perfect. Government is a work in progress. What government does consistently is to communicate to the people not just the intention of government, but the effort of government in delivering on the promise to the Nigerian people. So you're going to find in the course of our work, there are times government will come up to you to say, this and this are the efforts we've made in this regard. If it is not perfect, we're improving upon it. The posture of Mr. President from when he took the oath of office to the Nigerian people is that I have undertaken this task. I know the onerous responsibility. I'm committed to it. The box is on my table. All I require from the Nigerian people is patience. This reform we have embarked upon is tough, but it's what we are prepared for. And we are going to put in our best. In the course of the administration, we are going to make sure that we communicate to the Nigerian people what we are doing. And I can readily tell you that the administration has achieved tremendously. If you are looking at it from the point of view of somebody who is neutral, because the nation consists of government, the opposition, and the people. Sometimes in the messaging, focus is made most of the times on the opposition instead of the people. That's why the role of the media, as you all know, is very important, because what you do is you report what is happening and the Nigerian people can judge. So we will give our commitment, and I know in the course of time we are going to relate. I will make the commitment to know everyone personally, and then we'll ensure that our work here is productive in delivering good governance to the Nigerian people. And I want to, again, as I close, thank Mr. President for considering me worthy enough to be asked to undertake this responsibility, and I'll give my commitment and my effort in delivering on the promise of Mr. President. It's a pleasure meeting you all today. Thank you. Important, you can never be a subject of discussion. But most importantly, I know that sometimes back on the 13th, I think 10th of January, when I met the president, I made a conscious effort to make the media rounds, and I appeared on most television stations in the country in which this same sentiment you have echoed were raised in extensio, and we've answered all of them. And since January and now, it has been 11 months of consistent commitment in advocating on the president's governance agenda. And surprisingly, it didn't come out until now. So in life generally, you look at focus. When you're focused on a thing, you're going to be faced with distraction. Your character will be determined by how you conduct yourself in the course of carrying out the information. It's about the government, it's about the president, it's about his administration. It's not about Bwala. And because these things have been trashed before, I don't want to feed the negative energy that is obviously sponsored by some element who think that by doing so they are going to gaslight the president. The president is committed, and we are committed to the cause of the president. So I won't feed into that energy. So with the first one, the president has, all of us as servants and aides to the president. Section 5 of the Constitution vests the executive powers of the Federation in the president. And he carries out this duty, if you look at Section 5, either by himself, through the vice president, or the ministers of the government or the Federation or agencies. So the president is the team leader. Every other person functions as the president wishes. And the position I have been appointed into, the last person who occupied the position was a spokesman. If you look at the description of my responsibility, special advisor to the president on media and public communication, State House. So that is self-explanatory. And regarding the second question that you raised, ordinarily I would not have responded to his issue, because when I was referred to what he said, I immediately contacted the vice president. I will crack jokes about that. I have a very fantastic relationship with the vice president, which even started before the judgment of the court was delivered regarding the matter. The relationship started, or rather became stronger, in the build-up to the emergence of leadership of the National Assembly. And since then, we've been having very good relationship. But I know that the senator in question is having some troubled times. All I can say is that we need to pray for him, for God to guide and help him. But we are focused on the work of the president. It's not about Bwala, it's about the president. Yeah.
Nuisance Lele.
He is now the spokesperson. No? Let me explain to you, in case if you don't really understand, because thiefnubu has appointed more than 14 point men as his media advisors. Okay? And then he's appointed over 1,000 other foot soldiers for media too. All right? To be talking to you, either through the newspaper, through the radio, online, and social media, of course. All right? So he's appointed a lot of them. But these ones are like point men. His position is like that of, remember Femi Opono Adesina and Garbage Shehu. So the two guys who were with Bokohari, the presidency. So that is the position A, Bwala. and his father, this is like almost his father anyway, is Zibida Bayon of Funuga, the long throats. Yeah. So their position is like that of Garbage Shehu and Femi Okuno Adesina. If you see anything about thiefnubu, they go fire you back. Anything where you say about thiefnubu, they have to fire you back. Their job is to make sure that anybody will say anything about thiefnubu, they must respond. Akuri Nigalielie wasn't doing the job. That one they tried the no. You have to be like, here you get. So that is what they hired Bulaba for. And this was the same Bulaba 2 years ago.
That is the economy. They gathered in that meeting and they were sharing to the Nigerian.
I mean, these of course are some of, I mean, you're a politician, I understand the reason why you're speaking like this. But of course, as a lawyer, you also know the fact that these things have to be backed. The libelous ones and the one that can
That's what the libelous
the defamation, because when you say that he's found with so person and he's found with
so he was a governor.
The inference is,
he was a governor. Yeah. He was a governor of the state when a mastermind of a bombing was found in Borno Governor Lodge. I did not say he did it. He was a governor.
So let me ask you, in the case of Peter Obi, and I'm coming back to Kashim Shettima,
right?
Why was it that your supporters were criticizing Peter Obi when he was abroad, consulting with Nigerians abroad and having consultations abroad? Now your candidate is abroad,
right?
How would you react to that?
We have had no material time actually criticize Peter Obi for going abroad and engaging.
You've forgotten how your supporters were criticizing
I will tell you what
Peter Obi when they say, oh, he's going to abroad to instead of him coming on the ground to come and do the work.
I was part of those that in fact said that all the places Peter Obi was visiting were Nigerian communities in different parts of the Western world who are not likely to come back to Nigeria and vote. And he ignored the primary responsibility he had because we felt he came through a party that has a short time to make impact, and so he had a misplaced priority. In the case of Atiku Abubakar engaged with development partners. There is virtually nothing we need in terms of growth and development as a country to which we don't look up to the U.S. He didn't go to just see a group of people who are having some picnic, attend a group of meeting where there are people who are having dinner. He engaged with the Department of State. Department of State is like Foreign Affairs Ministry. It is cogent and compelling. In other words, his visit to the U.S. should even benefit the government of Nigeria of today.
So let's go back to what Kashim Shettima said.
Yeah.
And he made a point. He said, your presidential candidate had been making divisive statements.
Right. Let me respond to it. His own principal said, Emilekun, when he gave the famous and what has come to become the national anthem of the party, when he said, Olule, Oshekini, Olile, Oshekeji, Olule, Osheketa, Olule, Olule, television.
Your right is very horrible.
It was in that meeting he said it was his own turn to be president. It's not about the people. It's not about everyone. But escalated to the most recent visit he made to Pa Adefaranti. He was telling him that not a single Yoruba is opposing the idea of me securing the ticket. He's not talking about Nigeria or APC. Then he added, he said, I promise you when I go to the election, I will bring back the trophy. In other words, his idea of the race to presidency is like you go and get a trophy to your ethnic enclave. There is not a single divisive statement that matches that. But we are not surprised that these things did not find their ways into print and electronic media. Because just last week, he had a meeting with editors in Oriental Hotel in Lagos, where he was literally persuading and buying them over to his view. We have also heard when he said he will curse anybody that tried to settle Wike and Atiku. We are not perturbed by that. But let me tell you what they are selling to the Nigerian people, what they call renewed hopelessness. In their renewed hopelessness, what is their economic model?
You call it renewed hopelessness, but they call it renewed hope.
But let me tell you why it is hopeless. This current government is the government of APC. They don't even know. Their entire manifesto is a campaign against the government. And a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. If you read their campaign manifesto, it is activism. You are doing activism against who? You now said you want to remove subsidy. You forgot when Jonathan wanted to remove subsidy, all of them went to the street and called the heavens to come down on him. Remember also, as soon as the election was coming close, when they talked about subsidy, they said, who is subsidizing who? We're going to remove subsidy from day one. 8 years down the line, they have not. Even when the PIA was passed into law, which created sort of the platform for the removal of subsidy, they all came out against it. Today, even unionists in their party are saying that they want to remove subsidy. Nigerians can't be fooled in that area. They also talked about, we want to give student loan, we want to give this, and we have to give that. Read that renewed hopelessness. Where are they going to get the funding? There is no economic blueprint for job creation. And it is even surprising to me that they gathered these same people you see in the meeting they call private sector players. When you look through, you will see wounded businessmen. Businessmen who have lost billions and billions as a result of incoherent policies of APC. And they are promising the same people that they are going to create an enabling environment for private sector.
You're from Borno State.
I am.
Are you proud to be from that state?
I am proud to
Are
be
you
a Borno
proud
man.
that Kashim Shettima was your governor for 8 years?
No, I'm not. In fact, let me tell you something.
But since your statement is a bit different from when you were a member of the APC.
I have never spoken about Borno because I come from the part of Borno that is treated as if we are not even the Nigerians. And I have never talked about Borno, but let me even tell you the unpopularity of APC in Borno State. Their governor went to buy part of the state. You know the song they were singing, 2 billion. Anytime you find the governor or anybody asking what is the meaning of 2 billion, they will tell you. The senators in their party went to different parts. They were literally chased out. To tell you how unpopular APC is, the Northwest gave overwhelming votes to APC. What have the Northwest benefited when you saw a
So what's the meaning of 2 billion from what your people are saying?
The people, according to the report we heard, that the President Buhari went to Borno and he was having engagement in the Shewu's Palace, where the Shewu's Palace was demanding more funding. That's what I heard. You know, I've not verified. More funding.
And it's in the tune of 2 billion.
And the governor, so when they were asking Buhari for more funding, that Buhari in response said, every month I give 2 billion in addition. That is...
Wow. And do you know where he came from in Borno? Okay, the LUP guys went there. I think it was a while back. Is it like a year now? The village of Bulaba in Borno.
We are taking the 100 million march nationwide today, Grassroots. We're currently somewhere in Borno State. And because of the bad road, we had to park our cars and walk. So we're all working. Look at the crowd in front. I'm too tired to raise up my hands. So look at the crowd in front. Can you see all the people there? We're not in the village yet. We're still on our way to the village. Daddy, I'm coming. Let me zoom in. So you can see all these people here. And there's still more people behind us coming. These people here. So this village here, they've never had water before. They don't have drinking water, they don't have bathing water. So for the very first time, a borehole is being dug for them by Labour Party on behalf of Peter Obi and Dati. So this is the very first borehole in this village for the past 100 years. This is slow. We don't have water. So we're on our way to commission that borehole today.
They still read them out. So today, Bulaba returned to Shewun's studio, where as is now returned as thiefnubu's spokesman. And here is a snippet of what they chatted about. Bulaba.
Do you think you are fit for this office in terms of your qualification?
We are saved by grace. Oh, you are talking of whether I have the resume?
You have the requisite experience, understanding, and knowledge of the job.
I have.
Of speaking publicly for a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I have never spoken for the president of the Federal Republic at any time. This is the first time. But if you are talking of whether I have experience in communication and public communication and media, that is all I've been doing for many years.
Have you been trained for it?
I studied law. A lawyer is both a journalist and a practitioner of law. When you appear in court, what are you doing? Advocating for a case.
But it's a totally different thing when you spin and you handle media and manage media and communication for. That's probably one of the highest role in media and communication in any country. Speaking and managing public relations and spinning for a president.
Which is what I have the capacity for. Yeah.
You have the capacity
yes.
for it.
Incidentally, when I went to address the press corps, most of the people in that place, we know each other at different capacities where you appear in television program or journalists calling you out for meetings, communication and all that. So it is, you see, it's a privilege, but it's also a role which we have been playing for the president in an unofficial capacity. So now that the privileged position is given to you in that official capacity, it's an honor. What has changed now is that in an unofficial capacity, you can say anything you want. In the official capacity, because whatever you say is deemed as the president saying, you have to be careful to be sure that what you're saying filters on the thinking, the reasoning, and the body language of the president.
So by inference or by virtue of, how would I refer to you now? You're a member of the APC because you work for a president.
Since January. Since January.
So, I mean, how does that work? Because this is you who said the human brain is unique and miraculous. It works and functions optically 24 hours a day, 365 days a year until you join APC, then it stopped working. Does that apply to you?
Let me just answer this, and I will not answer any further communication in relation to what you and I have trashed here when I met the president sometime. It's just that in Nigeria we have sometimes, well, since it is not a journalist that say, I won't say lazy journalism, but you see, I have said it, this quote, I have never said it like that. The statement I made, which is similar to this, was on the 24th of December. You were not on duty. Your colleague, I think it's Geoffrey, was the one who was interviewing me. On the eve of Christmas, I remember. And I didn't say this same thing that you're saying. But by the way, let me tell you this. A lot of people don't know politics, and they don't know how politics is being played. When you are for the opposition, what are you supposed to do? To oppose, isn't it? To oppose. If you have the training and discipline where you get engaged in debate, for example, where you say debate for and against. So what we know, and from my discipline of law, is you emphasize your strength and de-emphasize the strength of the other person. You allow him to state his case. And all of these references that people were making were activities that played out when I was in the PDP. It is understandable. The reason why I said I will not talk further on that is because when I met the president in January, you were the first person to interview me after I had met him. It was the hottest interview we've ever had. First of all of the years I know you in interview, you hardly interview and make reference and play out something, but that day it was like Larry King interviewing somebody. And after that, I went to other TV stations and ensured that, because I don't run away from interview. Now, much they take talk, now I go take answer. I've gone to all the places and answered the question. Now, so the president has given us privilege, and there are so much that the president, imagine the visit of the Prime Minister of India, a lot of solid issues to talk about. People are not looking at that. You're looking at Bwala. He said this before against the president. Now, let's assume that it is malaria. Is it not the president that should take the medicine? Why are you taking the medicine for him? When I met him, I told you here on your show in January, when I was explaining why I took positions that I took, but I told him I never went personal. I guess you don't even have to worry. I understand this is politics. The only thing the president then was worried was that when I left, I didn't meet with him before leaving. That's the only thing, not what I said. And he told me something. He said, if you look around me now, most of the people that I would meet today were once against me and even
very deep against me. But in life, my mother, this is his word, my mother taught me that if a king is going to be fighting with people, you will now become a lonely king without people. And so I have learned that in life, and I don't hold it against me.
So you are 100% loyal to the president?
100%.
Well, you were formerly, you said that you were 100% loyal to Atiku Abubakar.
When I was with Atiku, I was 100. So that, I'm like a pit bull, right? When you are committed to someone, you give 100. So I cannot say when I was working for Atiku, I was 90% for Atiku and 10 for Asiwaju. But then what it means that I can't be trusted by both Atiku and Asiwaju. Well, I'm Tinubu the president.
But your loyalty shifted as soon as your perception of things shifted.
As soon as the president
won.
Even when he won, I was in PDP actually, up to the judgment of the Supreme Court. So that question of who won, who didn't won was settled. The next thing that everybody was confronted with after that time was governance. And if you recall, I want to refresh your memory, on the 1st, I think, of January, the president gave a speech. And in that speech, he called on all Nigerians from all divide to come together and let us build on governance. So when I got the privilege of being invited by the president to meet him, which many people have sought for and never had, and I count it as a privilege of a lifetime. He's a father, I've been with him before. And he said, I want you to join this idea of governance and the rest. I saw it as a rare opportunity. And I grabbed it with joy. And from then, I gave him my 100% commitment. And Segun, you have been around from that January when I made that decision for the president till today. Was there any moment in which I was quiet, silent?
He has no job. He has.
I said, if Ahmed Bola Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
You say?
I say, if Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
Thank you.
The job people are already angry that this is the worst government.
We have just started.
We must learn a lesson. This man!
You're gonna trust man, Adam, Ojo, your eyes will see what your mouth cannot talk.
So, Daniel Bulaba, welcome on board. But there's something I need you to know, okay? I know the thiefnubu's gang, they feed on propaganda lanje. Share you get. But the real opposition that have been very consistent, the real opposition to APC, Egbekegbe, the real opposition to everything they they actually stand for, has been the people. The people who have continued to expose them on social media, tearing them apart. See, you can't defeat the much enlightened people on these streets. Ask those who worked for Bokohari. They were all torn apart. They were all torn into pieces, shreds. Just go in there, collect your money, get paid, lie to those ones who are going to believe your lies. But when you are brought onto these streets, anything you say that is brought to these streets, right, you will be trashed. Tinubu will remain illegitimate. Even if he has this consolidated power where he's been like, a bulldog or a bull in a china shop. In the contraption, you have all the free hand, you have all the move and everything. Go ahead. But when it comes to credibility, legitimacy, you will never be able to get it. You won't. Layamo, as mad as Layamo was, we chase him enter corner. That's what we did to Layamo on these streets. Layamo used to lie that confidently, if you put 200 microphones in front of Layamo, Layamo will lie 200 lies, different lies to each microphone. He will tell this lie, he will tell this one lie, he will tell this one different lie, tell this one, tell this one. But at the end of the day, towards the end of their inglorious, murderous regime, they come out again. How many times did you see Layamo before the end of Bokohari's tenure? He ended up having to just run away. So, Bulaba, welcome on board. Enjoy it. How many of you know that this guy aspire to perspire, to maguire and acquire, to desire, then to aspire again? Is also an appointee of thiefnubu.
I don't cast my votes for you, as I don't cast my votes for you, I don't cast my votes for you, as I don't cast my votes for you, I don't.
Many of you know that. I don't know if he deleted his social media and Dusha. Feladro Toye. Yeah. You all remember at that time, 2018. Hey. They don't fool people for this street. So and everybody have their own way of cashing out, you know. Feladro Toye, we won't be president. Remember? And they were doing what was that thing called that year? Showore, Duro Toye, and so many of them like that who ended up as appointees of Bokohari. This one too, how many of you know that this one is a member of thiefnubu's government? I know they see him anywhere. I know he just collected his appointments. He just disappeared. They cash out codedly. Nobody they see him. Is that part of the deal? To aspire to perspire, aspire to maguire, acquire, then desire to motivational speaker. You don't forget them. Anyway, a quick announcement though. Before that, Kalu has landed in Rio de Janeiro. That is in Brazil. He's going to deliver a piece of paper on international hunger, world hunger. Kalu earlier today in Rio, Brazil. That's a call there. The G20 summit, and I know I'll bring to you wherever he possibly, whatever he told them afterward, okay? But let's leave that. Yesterday, okay, in fact, it was 2 days ago, right? When Obasanjo, somewhere in Yale University, he delivered a speech and he called on the sack of INEC leadership. That if there's going to be any real election in Nigeria, they must sack the INEC leadership. And at the same time, they must even reduce their tenure. This was Obasanjo. Then he mocked thiefnubu on his failure on the Nigerian economy. I say, since then, thiefnubu said dogs have been unleashed on him. The first among them was Sunday Dari, a former minister of sports and youth development, who is now being appointed, who has been appointed as thiefnubu's communication advisor, special advisor on communication, on special communication. He abused Obasanjo. Thiefnubu, I must abuse you.
Since when I born you never seen this kind of abuse before. Tinubu, I must abuse you. Tinubu, number 1, Oguokiyapa. Tinubu, number 2, Oguokiyama. Tinubu, number 3, Oguokiya your children. Tinubu, number 4, Ogugo bury all your family. Tinubu is a god to you. A god to you. Tinubu is a god to you. And wow.
So they took Obasanjo to, it won't be the first time during the Bokohari's time, the likes of a Garbage Shehu, Femi Oponu Adeshina, and others, they took Obasanjo to the cleaners, and he deservedly so, he deserved it too. He said that it was Obasanjo's time that he was the most corrupt president. That's what Sunday Dari said. And that's not true. Obasanjo was corrupt, but not as corrupt as these criminals that you are now seeing. He said Obasanjo was the one who conducted the worst elections in Nigeria. That also is not true. He used to be the holder of that honor, or that dishonorable award. But since this APC, Egbekegbe came, and they started the go to court. They first started with inconclusive election, inconclusive. Now what we have is that go to court. So when Obasanjo conducted the 2007 elections, it was the worst that even the beneficiary of that election, Yar'Adua, came out and said, the election that brought me to power is the worst election in Nigeria history. Morisiwu. But since then, Nigeria don't enter Kano like that. Since that time, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan tried to reform the electoral process, and he became the sacrificial lamb for it. And APC, Egbekegbe, they will never make such mistake. Now they are accusing him that. Now to make the matter worse, they continue this lie of Obasanjo spending $16 billion to generate darkness. That is one propaganda that APC, Egbekegbe, have been using so well. Even you can see the roadside, beer parlor gist, where people say things like that. You can probably pardon them, you can forgive them, but you wouldn't expect people who are inside the presidency, who are actually in government, to also continue to push that same lie. That's why you will know that propaganda. Obasanjo budgeted $16 billion to build 11 power plants that would then generate 20,000 megawatts of electricity for Nigeria. Obasanjo did not spend $16 billion on electricity generation in Nigeria. He never spent that. How much did Obasanjo spend? And did Obasanjo actually looted the monument for power? The answer is no. Obasanjo did not loot any penny from the electricity generation, what have you. But Yar'Adua came out then. You remember, it was Yar'Adua who said he was going to probe the $16 billion that Obasanjo budgeted for power. And around the time, 11 power stations were being built across Nigeria. Yar'Adua stopped the project, launched a probe. At the end of the day, the report from that probe, including the own EFCC and the rest of that, came out to say there was actually no money missing and there was no $16 billion spent. It was $8 billion spent, and the project was near completion. Today, out of the 11 power projects Obasanjo built, that was nearing completion, they ended up completing 5 of them. And among those 5, they are among those who are actually generating electricity for Nigeria today, this moment. Internet never forgets. So if people are pushing that beer parlor gist, okay, it is not to defend Obasanjo. No, it's not to defend him. It is actually to set the record straight. But if anybody wants to abuse Obasanjo or tear him apart, they are free to do so. But please, it won't make any sense for these low lives, this bunch of criminals, career criminals around this druggie to continue to mislead the people. For those who want to be misled, there is a record of how that money was actually spent. The 27 companies, 27 different companies that were paid, collected the contracts to build you the supposed power stations, and some of them got stopped. And some of those turbines that were imported, I don't know if some of them have actually probably rotten away in, at your seaports because of Yar'Adua, because of Yar'Adua's probe. Or the project actually ended where Obasanjo left them 17 years ago, 18 years ago. And if not for that singular effort, you probably will be worse than Somalia today when it comes to power. I mean, I don't even know if Somalia have any electricity problem like you do in that contraption. Obasanjo's power plants are those who are now providing electricity, which APC, they have not added a single megawatt of electricity. Megawatt, so one megawatt to your national grid in 9 years. But they are so loud. Let me share something with you for the record, okay? It was in 2018 when the likes of Femi Adesina, when they pushed the similar, what do you call it? When they pushed the similar narrative that, hang on, what's this? Sure. So when they pushed the narrative that Obasanjo spent $16 billion and generated darkness at the time, here, where the, here was the report. It was actually like a proper report said, compiled by the former EFCC chairman, Ibrahim Lamode at the time. So according to the report, published by thiefnubu's newspaper as well, here, Mumumadu Bokohari has accused former President Olusegun Obasanjo administration of blowing $16 billion on power. Obasanjo replied that he was never indicted, adding, the answer is simple. The power is in the 7 national integrated power projects and 18 gas turbines that Chief Obasanjo's successor, who originally made the allegation of $16 billion, did not clear from the port for over a year, and the civil works done on the site. The report said, further investigations also revealed that a national integrated power project is currently apace in 6 zones of the country, for which about 1,230,949,000,000 and 66,528 naira was committed by the government. The projects were also at different levels of completion, but as at the moment of this report, 360 billion, 714 million, 147,700 naira, 3 kobo has been paid out to contractors, leaving a balance of 870 billion, 234 million, 918,828 naira and 6 kobo yet to be paid. Now, here, for those who collected money, Shogbowo, Ogbowo, Mogbowo, Shogbowo, Ogbowo, right? Here, the companies that got paid and the job they did, shall you get? Pivot Engineering Limited was awarded contracts in the sum of 78,625,736 dollars for the construction of Owerri, Ahuada, Yenagua, 132 kVA DC lines and substations. It is to be noted that out of this, $73 million has been paid to the contractor. ABB Nigeria Limited received a contract in the sum of 21,489,644, 21 million, $21.4 million, and NI 489 billion, 271 billion, 79.60 billion, whatever. So for the construction of second Bini Onitsha 330 kVA SC line, so far the contractors have been paid the sum of 1,676,223,000 naira. Siemens Limited also benefited from a contract of 15 million euro, right? And then 200 million naira to provide Onitsha 150 MVA, 330, 132, 3 kVA transmission whatever line, and 330 kV base at Onitsha and Benin. Out of this contract sum, it has received a total payment of 12 million euros, 499,567, right? Which is billion, 49.979 billion. Enagovod SRC was awarded a project of Alaogi, Calabar, 330 kVA DC lines for $42 million. Orange VAR, see, all these names are kind of like tricky, by the way. So they got 8.9 million pounds in contract. Chrome Consortium was awarded contract for the provision of Gombe, Yola, Jalingo, 330 kVA SC lines at $74 million. News Engineering Limited got a contract valued at $3.4 million. Alaogi, Umahia, 132 kVA DC line was awarded to Pivot Engineering at $4 million. Right? He got 3.9 million. Valence Holdings Nigeria Limited got contract for Umahia, 2x30, 40 MVA, 132 stroke, at 3 kV substation for $7 million. Kevin News Engineering handled Gombe, Damaturu, Maiduguri. Now, you know why I'm mentioning this is that you can hear who got what for where and where under Obasanjo. Sure, you get JKN Limited did Ado-Ekiti 132 stroke 3 kVA substation and Akure 132 kVA Lihangbe extension, right? 822 million, and they received 521 million naira. Kano Duse 132 kVA DC and Duse Azare 132 kVA SC line done by LCEP at $50 million. ABB did Duse Azare by 30 stroke 40 MVA. Now these were power stations, power substations, transmission lines, and all of this that Obasanjo did, which all resulted to, here is another one, the Egbi Ikeja West, any main station, okay? That's a 330 kV DC line and substation was handled by Enago Nigeria Limited at $8.4 million. So they got 6.4 million. And NEPA, SEEB power interconnection. Now, all of this, they can be fact-checked. They have been fact-checked to actually exist. From this, Obasanjo got 16 billion, and Nigeria was generating over 8,000 megawatts of electricity. Here is another one. News Engineering Nigeria Limited got the contract for the construction of 1 by 30 MVA, 132/33 watt substation at Kefi for 441 million naira. But they were paid 251 million naira. Continental Engineering Limited was awarded Talata Mafara 2 by 30/40 MVA, 132/33 kV substation for 435 million naira. But they got 420 million naira paid. Amope Sapele 1 by 30/40 MVA, 132/33 kV substation was handled by News Engineering Limited at $1.1 million and 219 million naira. But the company received $1.014 million and 78 million naira. Here is another one. AB Power, Katempe, got National Stadium, 132 kV DC line for 347 million naira, but they were paid 173 million naira. So 26 companies carried out FY 2000 substation reinforcement projects for 2.6 billion, but they received 2.3 billion, representing 90% of the contract. AAB Nigeria Limited handled rehabilitation of Delta TV yard for 2,879,811 euro, but they were paid 36, so only we 2 by 60. Most of these power stations were later sold. Most of these power projects, they were later sold by the successive government in their privatization of NEPA, when the NEPA became power holding. So it is not as if to say Obasanjo actually commode the money, put it inside his pocket like others have now done. Like I said, the man deserves all the insult, all the abuses and all of that because he's a selfish man. He brought us to this stage. He actually destroyed this country that gave room to the APC, Egbekegbe, to have access to power. If not, the likes of APC, Egbekegbe, they should never have any access to power anywhere in the world. But because of Obasanjo's selfishness, self-centeredness, now you have APC. CEO, CS International Limited was awarded $1.395 million for the construction of a new 330 kV line at Olonshogo, Benin, Ikeja West, in which a down payment of $596,000 was paid. STEPCO got the $30.3 million new 330 kV substation at Kwakwanso. They were paid $8.9 million. Kukwaba 2 by 60 MYA 132/33 kV substation was awarded to NCEP for $5.2 million, right? But at the end of the day, they got 20% payment was made, which comes to $1,150,000. So CC International Limited is a company that was awarded Onisha, Unewi, Ihiala, 132 kV DC line at $2.6 million. Here you get. So this thing is online, but the likes of thiefnubu's ass leakers, APC, Egbekegbe, they have their audience, they have their people who listen to them. Here you get. And that is why somehow, for the sake of posterity and for the sake of, to stop misinformation, misleading, all of that, and their propaganda, Obasanjo did not spend $16 billion on power in Nigeria. The total money Obasanjo spent on power was calculated to be $8 billion. And there were actually evidence of all these power stations, substations, DC lines, and all of this switch, whatever it was building across the country. They actually existed. Now ask APC, Egbekegbe. Now Nigeria is now generating less than 4,000 megawatt electricity. 9 years plus. That's like 14 years. No, 17 years after Obasanjo. Obasanjo was generating over 8,000 megawatt electricity. 17 years after Obasanjo, Nigeria is now generating less than 4,000 megawatts electricity, distributing less than 3,000 megawatt electricity. They have not built any new power station in Nigeria since Obasanjo left. Not a single one has been built. They have not built anything new on power, invest in anything power in Nigeria But the money has been stolen and stolen and stolen and stolen. That Nigeria is now in darkness. Now the same people come they try to use Obasanjo wash now. No be them photo. Now the old man's fault. A very selfish old man. Now he's telling us that except something changes, he is not participating in any election again. Just to justify what we have told you before. Now Mumugo they go saying they contest election with APC in that contraption now. Now Mumugo
democracy is not working for us. And that's why we are keep facing it. Your vote doesn't count today in Nigeria. Don't listen to us. And unless things change, and I mean that, I am not going to vote in Nigeria. Unless things change. Because they will say it doesn't matter what you, how your vote. It doesn't matter your number. You write the figure. And they say go to court. And then you are not sure you are going to get justice in the court. So what are you voting for? What democracy are you talking about? So if you are still in that form, then good luck to our democracy.
Then good luck to you. If you are still in that mindset that you want to go and do election with these guys, good luck to you. In Ogun State, dubious Dapo, the self-appointed emperor, people don't really learn from history. And there's something about not learning from history. They said if you don't learn from history, you are bound, right, to repeat it. That means to repeat the same mistake in history. Dubious Dapo is celebrating the charade called local government election. Yesterday, I showed you what he was doing to his supposed opposition, Ladi Adebutu, right? Where he sent a gunman to go after him because he told him not to come out. Don't come out on the day of election. Anybody that is not APC must not come out. You don't want to see them outside. If you see them outside, beat them. If they rejected your beating, shoot them. Now, they don't shoot people. They don't beat people for Dubious Dapo. Dubious Dapo has announced APC as the winner. All of them the winner. And he swore for them, I think this morning, they did swearing ceremony.
That I will not allow my personal interest to influence my official conduct or my official decisions. That I will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That I will abide by the Code of Conduct contained in the 5th schedule to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That in all circumstances, I will do right to all manner of people according to law, without fear or favor, affection or ill will. That I will not directly or indirectly communicate or reveal to any person any matter which shall be brought under my consideration or shall become known to me as chairman, except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as chairman, and that I will devote myself, that I will not allow.
Yeah, that's them being sworn in. He's not satisfied. I told them not to come out. He came out. I will show him Dubious Dapo and his own self-appointed local government administrators in Ogun States. See some drama.
You are shocked and surprised. Let me assure you that the whole episode that happened in Peru is now being investigated. And anyone found culpable, anyone, regardless of who they are, either lowly placed or highly placed, we will deal with them in the fullest accordance with the law. The full weight of the law will send them there. We will discipline them. You are shocked.
Their time will come and pass. But the people who they are supposed to possibly be governing will continue to live in the abject ones, in underdevelopment that is pretty much like their badge of honor in Ogun State. For your eyes only. The achievement of these lunatics, chancers, opportunists, all for power. Take a look at this. Let's take a tour. It is so very much stressful to watch, okay? It's a long one, so don't worry. And the emperor, if any of those local government chairmen should misbehave, this is what we did a lot. How many of you remember when they were like prostrating, local government chairmen prostrating for dubious Dapo, begging him on behalf of one of them who questioned the local government allocation that was never given to them, and they must never ask questions. One of them who asked questions got impeached, arrested, and others had to go and beg him. You remember that time? Local government chairmen, some of them are among those that he just sworn in again there.
As a father of all in this place, Excellency, Excellency, sir, and so, on behalf of all of us, I'm tendering this apology, and in particular, on behalf of Bwala and Dada, Your Excellency,
everyone knows that this job, I am doing it with every iota of sincerity of purpose. I continue to ensure that I'm guided by all the promises that I made in the course of my journey to God for this.
Emperor Dapo, don't dare him. He go kill you. Yeah, Akpaidanu. I am the chief security officer of this state. I'll lock you up. I arrest you. Yeah, that's how he talks. Dubious Dapo of Ogun State. Now my state governor be that too. How unlucky are my people? Oshoba. That one said, majority of Ogun State people, they be chicken. Once you drop agbado, once you drop some corns, or maize, they go begin the chopper. Then came Bewiri Benga Daniel. Then came Ajiri. They call him Ajiri Amosuba. I call him Ajiri Omamushi. Every one of them lived like emperor. And there you have him now. The dubious Dapo. His own time will come. My people will be the loser. The state and the people will be the loser. They will catch out whatever money they will cash out. They will lick his ass and all of that until he's gone. Another person will come later and they will treat them the same way. Treat them like piece of shit. And that was supposed to be the state where Obafemi Awolowo came from. You need to go and see our infrastructures, the schools, go and see the roads, go and see the medical centers, Baba. But they always have this, if you do one 5-kilometer road here, do another 5-kilometer road in another senatorial district, and they will publicize it to show you as if to say, did you see that road they constructed in Ijebu? Have you seen the one they constructed in Yewa? Oh my God. It's painful though. It's unfortunate. I don't know why my people are just so unlucky, right? Ogun State is the second state with the highest IGR in Nigeria. but it never reflects in the lives of the people. Never. Everybody just kind of have to queue and wait for their turn. The turn, if you go to Odogbolu local government, my local government area, we see when you check the FAC record, how much is Odogbolu local government collects from Abuja every month? Averagely, Odogbolu local government collects nothing less than 400 million naira at least. But at the front of Odogbolu local government secretariats, if you are not careful, your car's exhaust will come out there. There is no road in front of the local government. So if local government secretariats doesn't have road, the road in front of local government is not motorable, how are you sure that the roads in the entire local government area is going to be motorable? But they are willing and ready to kiss the ass of this criminal politician as long as they are given appointment of 50,000 naira, 100,000 naira. So they are better off and they are okay with that. And it is the same all over the states. They will fight themselves for this, even those ones who are supposed to live. What? So unlucky. My people are just so unlucky. And that's my own problem. That is something that gets me so angry, though, right? That the people that are keeping our people poor, those who are keeping Yorubas poorer, they are Yorubas. Since 1999, the governors in Yoruba land have been Yorubas. The lawmakers from Yoruba land have been Yorubas. So how can we now turn around and blame other people for our own problems and our own shortcomings? If our own people no feel love us, who go come love us? I am from Ogun State and I will never treat my people that way. But I don't have power. I don't have any way to change anything for them. Those who have access to that power, they are not making life better for these people. And it's the same all over Yoruba land. It's the same. Politicians are just coming out and leaving the people worse off. Then they will begin to play the tribal card, the religious card, tribal card, where people are unable to, have quality education, quality healthcare, quality roads, and nothing quality. But they will conveniently play tribal card, religious card, tribal card, and all of that stuff, man. So sad. It's unfortunate, man. Honestly. The money is not much, agreed. But use it for the people. If you build the roads, it's not only the people that will drive on it, even you yourself will actually use the road as well. If you construct a better hospitals and hire and paid the teachers, paid the doctors, paid these health workers, it is to the benefit of the millions of people. But no, they won't. They won't. The most lucrative job in my own local government, is the two most lucrative jobs in my local government, right? They are politics and Okada riding. Riding Okada. Or go and join politics and be doing yes, sir, yes, sir. When you look at some of them, they are older than their ages. See, this one is 40. It will be looking like a 70-year-old person. It's unfortunate, though. But Ibigbogbolatikadiale is the same everywhere. Even in Lagos, the mega shitty. Wahab, please. What is going on? Adeniji Adele in the mega city of Lagos.
Yeah.
Ọ̀rọ̀ ìjọba yẹn ni o, àìjọjọ́ iṣẹ́ ìjọba ni o. Ìjọba ti ní ká lọ bẹ ìjọba ni o.
How about it? Shitty. Anyway, finally, on Mayegun's Diary Political tonight, the central bank, not central bank, I think it is Wale Edun. They have issued a statement, and this is for all of you who have dollars or pounds in Nigeria. Listen to this circular to all commercial, merchants, and non-interest banks on implementation of the foreign currency disclosure, deposit, repatriation, and investment scheme 2024. The federal government of Nigeria on October 19, 2023, issued the Presidential Executive Order number 15 to facilitate voluntary disclosure, voluntary deposits, voluntary repatriation of internationally tradable foreign currencies held onshore and offshore by Nigerian citizens resident within or outside Nigeria. Sequent to this, the President signed the Presidential Executive Order number 15, Modification Notice 2024, which was gazetted on 25th of October 2024. To operationalize the Executive Order number 15, the Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy had issued the Foreign Currency Disclosure, Deposits, Repatriation and Investment Scheme Guidelines 2024 Scheme Guidelines on April 8, 2024. In furtherance thereof, the Central Bank of Nigeria hereby issues these guidelines on the foreign currency disclosure, deposits, repatriation, and investment scheme 2024 for implementation. The guidelines provides modality for the participation of commercial, merchant, and non-interest banks in the scheme and should be read in conjunction with Presidential Executive Order. In implementing the scheme, CMNIBs are required to comply with extant rules and regulations, including anti-money laundering, combating the financing of terrorism, countering proliferation financing,
blah, blah, blah laws and regulations. The guidelines takes effect from November 6, 2024. All the nonsense we didn't write inside that thing, right? Is just to tell you that you, directors' courts, that money that you have in that your HSBC account, by law, if you are still carrying that your green passports, you are a Nigerian, you must disclose it. And you must remit it back home. All of you who lives in Nigeria and you are keeping your dollar in some accounts outside Nigeria, you need to bring the money back. Number one, you need to first disclose them. You have to tell them, hello, sir, I have 450 pounds in my RBS. You say, okay. When are you going to send it back to Nigeria? Because you need to remit it back. Safiu, only you did here. They say, how much you have in your Bank of America account? I have $513. Good. Disclosure. Every one of you who is in Nigeria, you must disclose your dollar, your pounds, your riyal, your rand, your euro, and all of that. You must disclose them. I don't even know how this makes sense though, but that's the circular. Now, if you have domiciliary account in Nigeria, the banks must disclose how much you have. Each bank must say, well, we have 500 customers with domiciliary accounts, and all of them combined is $415,000, 35,000 euros. They must disclose them in the next 9 months. Everybody must disclose if you have dollars, euro, rand, pounds, and all of that for thiefnubu's gang. But I don't think it affects them because all of them converting your naira to dollars and pounds and taking the money outside Nigeria. I think they should first disclose all of their own money before they will come for your own $30 or $50, $100 that you have. I don't know what they will do to us if I don't tell them where I keep my money. I don't know what they will do. Maybe they will just arrest me at the airport. Say, hey, open your bank app when you get to Nigeria. Well, it's not impossible. These are lawless rogues, by the way, right? Open your, maybe when you are going to Nigeria, you have to delete all your banking app. Delete them. I've got 3 banking apps. 4. I've got RBS, Royal Bank of Scotland, Bank of Scotland. I've got TSB. Then I've got Zempla. I've got 4 banks. So if I'm going to that contraption, I have to delete all of them. Or else they will ask me to transfer them to, I don't know. I don't even know what this means. They need your dollars. They need your Forex. And they believe that by issuing a presidential executive order, we think concerned with my money. What is your business with your money? Because you are already in North Korea 2.0. All of them just use democracy to cover una eyes. But una eyes go clear when you become that victim. They are looting your money in millions and in billions. These guys, every month, once the state governors receive the allocation, they will call their bureau de change. Abdullahi, where are you? How much is dollar today? Say, Organa, 1,800 naira to $1. And if I want to buy it, please talk to I have a flight to catch to Abuja, please. How much is it if I want to buy it from Organa, 2,000 naira to $1? 2,000. Okay. Do you have up to $20 million? Say, yeah, we can look for it for you. Can look for it. But you have to pay 2,500 naira to $1. So that's not a problem. I will ask the Commissioner of Finance to send you 2 billion. So can you do 5 billion? Because I need cash. I need cash, seriously. And I have a flight to catch to Dubai on Wednesday. Okay. I'm going to Abuja now. I will ask the Commissioner of Finance to send you 5 billion. Can you do 5? They say, okay, we can do 5 billion. Don't worry. Then the moment they convert your money, once they won't pay salary, they won't pay contractors. So once the allocation lands, bams, they transfer money to the Bureau de Change. That one will begin to mop money everywhere, mop dollars everywhere for them. And they will boom, outside Nigeria. Those are the ones that should be asking them to declare their bank accounts, declare all their offshore bank accounts and how much they have there, and return the money to Nigeria. It's just a full play, man. You know, it's like a fully. So if you go to Nigeria, you better hide your banking app. If you be part of the verification process when you land for Nigeria, and don't say it is not possible. We are talking about Nigeria here. Nothing is impossible in a lawless place. It has not happened yet. In another 8 months, if it be a thing, that your dollars, some of you who are like, converting your naira to dollar because of the naira losing value. You feel wake up one morning, your $1,500, your $10,000 in your domiciliary account, your bank will just call you and say, hello, AGK, Mr. AGK, is this Mr. AGK? I say, yeah, this is an AGK. AGK and Sons. AGK and Sons. Say, yeah, we just want to tell you that your account balance is now 25 million naira. I say, what? What do you mean 25 million naira? My account, I left $12,000 there. I say, no, we know. But the money is no longer in dollars. I say, what? Is that not domiciliary account? They say, yeah, but it's the federal government policy. We are not allowed to keep dollars anymore. So they have given us naira for you. I say, I don't change my money. I said, we know it's the government that changed the money. So your dollar is now naira, sir. And how much? It is now 25 million. My $12,000 don't come to 25 million naira. See, I don't know, say I'm supposed to change them to naira before. Say, well, so what is the meaning of a domiciliary account? If I can't keep my dollars, say, well, it's a government policy. Executive Order 15. Don't say it is not possible. I am saying it now. Because when all of them begin to make video, we will go begin to shout, say, this Nigeria is a shithole. This Nigeria is a zoo. Mayegu, do you know what happened to me? Say, what happened? I left 15,000 pounds in my bank account. And because of what is devalued naira, do you know what they did to me? What did they do to you, sir? Tell us. They changed my money to naira. Oh, really? Oh, you were lucky that they did not confiscate the money. Disclosure, you don't understand the executive order. Disclosure of deposit and everything. It simply means they need to know that you have that money. And then, Oba Besele. By then, they go down, they change naira for maybe 3,000 naira to £1. Yeah. And 2,500 naira to $1 in another 9 months. It is not prophecy. Just look around. If you get money, I wish I could walk to the Bet Niger. Like, for example, Bet Niger. And all of you will be, say, gamblers. May I give you this tip? Walk straight to Bet Niger office and tell them that you want to short at the naira. That by the end of by December 2025, Nigeria naira will be exchanged for 2,600 naira to $1. So $1. And then put 10 million naira on it and let them stake it and tell you how much you are going to get if that happens. That Nigeria naira will be exchanged for over 2,600 naira to $1 by December 2025 and put 10 million naira stake and collect the receipt. Come back later and cash out maybe 100 million naira. You may cash out like 100 million. I don't know, like I'm giving you the tip. You can do it. People do short at, there's something called shorting. They short at the pounds, short at the dollars. They will say, okay, dollars will lose value by so month. Pounds will gain value at so month. And they will put like £1 million. They will shot at it. And guess what? Once that happens, they will cash out big time. It is not a prophecy. Just look around you. Just look around you and look at the people running your economy. Look at all of their actions, right? And tell me that this is a prophecy. It's not a prophecy. It is economic sense. And some of you can do it. Walk straight to Bet Nigeria. Don't stop doing all this money that they are stealing from you every day. Okay, go walk straight to them and say, I want to short the Naira. Say how much? 10 million Naira. Say, okay, let's put it together for you. So if by December 2025, the Naira is not being exchanged for over 2,600 Naira to $1, then you lose your money. You lose your 10 million. But if it is 1 Naira above 2,600 Naira, then you collect 150 million Naira. Go on and try it. And then you should come back here and pay the title. You have to come and pay title. Anyway, that is where we are going to draw the curtains this evening. And we will take calls. You know, we have to. So, and the the company that is sponsoring that segment of Mayegun's Diary Political Calling is the Ya Rasulallah's digital, okay, where people are trained on how to own their own business. If you are currently doing your 9 to 5, or you are working as, especially those who work 2-3 shifts anywhere, okay, you need to be financially stable to some extent to be part of this, okay? It is not an MMM where some people will kind of turn you to millionaire overnight. No, this is going to be you getting trained to own your own personal business online. And then, you'll be able to actually sell what is called the franchise sales, so to say, right? So if you want to get to know more, just scan this QR code on your screen, okay? Scan that and read more. So it will take, it will cost you $149, all right, to sign up. And immediately you feel like this is not for you. Of course, you can cancel it and get all your money back. Someone asked me the other day, Mayegun, are you doing it? Baba, do you really think I will have? It's something that I would love to do myself. You know why? Because I could just leave all of this, okay? Because if you want to really get involved, you would dedicate a lot of your time. I have signed up earlier just to get to understand it before I can introduce it to you, my viewers, all right? I got signed up, $149, and I get to see all the training and all the stuff, and I was like, oh, man, maybe someday I am going to possibly just retire from this Mayegun's Diary Political and go make some money. But that would be, that would be like you won't see much of me anymore. Okay, but until then, right, you go check it out. And if you think it's not for you, trust me, you can cancel it like I did and get all your money back. Again, this is the barcode. Try it out. And then if you possibly, move on to the next level, the next stage, and you become what I think you will become, don't forget me in your own, in your kingdom, they say. Don't forget me in your kingdom. Thank you so much, everyone. So I am going to take calls, but I'm going to go on a break, a short one. So when I come back, we can take calls, and then you can possibly react to this as much as you want. Welcome back. And also, this one is for me now, okay? So everyone asking, how can we support Mayegun? Because people have asked me that a lot. Well, you can support Mayegun's Diary Political. You can support what I do by buying me a coffee, or better still, use my PayPal to reach out. I'll take it. Okay. So if you wish to support Mayegun's Diary Political, this one is so straightforward, and that is if you scan this QR code as well, okay, on your screen, it works. I've tried it before, shown it to people on this platform. I have a caller on the line, though I am asking him to wait for me. So let me show you. So if you put your phone in front of this, like this, it is going to show you this. See? Also, I'm gonna see what it looks like on the screen. You can support Mayegun's Diary Political by buying me a coffee, okay? Let me see. Yeah, it works. I'm trying it on my laptop, watching Mayegun's Diary Political on the laptop. Yeah, I got that. It worked. So that too, you can do. And remember, supporting Mayegun is completely voluntary. So thank you so much for that. I have my caller. Let's hope, are you still there?
Yes, sir. I am here, General.
Yes, sir. That is the African Wahala, my first caller this evening. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. I'm doing well. What about you?
I am also there, very fine. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you for the program. So we have these guys that are threatening us. They want us to fall into their trap with their policies, telling us we have to drop a percentage of our earnings, even though we ran away from a country that has punished us. But they expect us, after running away, to drop a percentage of our earnings outside of the country. They are joking.
They say we make a lot of money out there, and Nigeria needs some forex, and it is patriotic of us to give that money to them. Even if you won't give your money, you will give your money to these rogues. I would rather chop sand.
No, unfortunately for them, they've made a lot of us go and learn our history and understand the fundamentals of Nigeria. And for that reason, many of us no longer have patriotism for Nigeria. And the reason is simple. You can't have patriotism for something that continuously punishes you and destroys your life. It's not going to work. So for people that don't really understand why some of us no longer have patriotism, and we openly talk about it and encourage other people not to have that patriotism, it's because if you are from a contraption, or rather, if you are from a country that was created to punish you, and the country has consistently punished you, then you wouldn't have patriotism. It's just human nature. But that aside, I wanted to mention something going on between the US and Russia, and how I'm really concerned as an African man that if these guys eventually escalate this war, we heard about Joe Biden yesterday approving Ukraine to launch some military equipment into Russia, and Russia responded saying, if you do that, it's going to be a direct war between the Russian Federation and NATO and the United States of America. Basically, it's going to become a third world war. Why people like me are very concerned is that throughout our entire existence, we've not even had a country. We are still struggling to have a country, to have what we identify as, to have something that protects us. Yes, we might have a second citizenship in some other country, But where we are innately from, we don't even have a country. So are we saying by the time a third world war potentially kicks in, we that have not even had a country, we are still going to be victims of that?
Well,
it's so
from my
it's so
own
messed up.
experience, from what I probably just what we have sort of read in history, and even compared to the recent happenings, like when this Ukraine-Russia wahala started, so we are all possibly, when the World War III kicks in, right, they are going to drag us into it, and some of us living in these countries are also probably going to be drafted to go and fight in Russia, I think.
But my concern is, we are just sitting ducks, waiting for people to fight themselves. And when they destroy one another, it's going to affect us. We have no control over that situation. And it's so concerning, for at least for people like me in 2024, we understand, at least to an extent, how the world works. And we know that we are sitting ducks. We have no control. We're just waiting for people to come and kill us. I just wanted to say that, and it's concerning for me. I wish I could get some sort of solace to make me feel better.
If my word will count for anything, to somebody like yourself, myself, and then our listeners, right? I am going to say that it won't escalate. Okay, whatever Joe Biden is pushing and the rest of that is not going to happen, right? But it doesn't mean that we should not feel concerned. We are from a place where even those who rule the place we come from, they are willing to. Okay, so if things get escalated, they will be willing to send thousands of millions of us, to go and fight what doesn't really concern us per se. But yeah, I just strongly believe that it won't escalate. There are some certain things, there are some certain lines that will not be crossed. But if it should be crossed, we'll deal with it when the time comes.
And my brother, one step at a time. I think the best approach is, if you have no control over a situation, don't be too burdened about it, because you're just going to be depressed.
That's right.
Thank you, my general. Thank you so much, general. Hey, my
so
people, please click on that like button.
Yes, sir. Good one, sir. All right, the African wahala.
And you too.
So you see, like you just put it there, right? Apart from the fact that we live in the countries that seems to be part and parcel of these global communities, right? The NATO this, the American this, the Russian this, all this face off, right? Somehow we live in these global communities that whatever happens, we are still going to be affected, either physically or economically. So we just hope that it won't really escalate, because we do not have any control or say, unfortunately. And we are not alone. Even their own citizens don't have a say. Americans just voted, which gives them a voice. And Donald Trump, which is the winner of their election, right, is sort of against the escalation. So if for any reason, the only people who have pretty much a say in this whole scheme of things are like Americans, in my own opinion. Others, we are just like, it's not because you are black or what have you. Even here in Europe, okay, their own citizens don't even have a say too. They're all just almost the same, complaining, blaming the politicians sometimes, but here. Hello there.
Hello, Michael. Hi.
I am very well, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Grand.
Kai ka zama FBI yanzu na yi.
Say that again, sorry.
Na ce ka zama FBI yanzu na yi.
I can barely hear you, by the way. Your voice seems lower.
Na ce ko ka zama FBI kenan ai.
Nache say FBI tonight. Is that what you said?
Yeah, kake lafiya kalau? Can I change everything after?
Oh, you are speaking. Oh, you shouldn't do that.
I'm speaking
That means you
outside.
come here unaware.
I'm speaking outside.
Anyway.
I'm saying you become an FBI now. You're getting
Tonight, okay.
You're getting.
Yeah. Yes.
My worry, Mumbo got on so Mumbo got on so Mumbo. My worry. You go to the FBI and see. So some information you disclosed today, I wasn't expecting you to have them. But
tell me, I do my. I always sort of probably have.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you had them, but I will just leave. I will not elaborate. I will not deny, but I'll just leave them the way they are.
Okay. Yes.
However, the reason for my calling today was just to say, yeah, well done. You did something. There's some things you picked up that I don't have to. If I say things here, people will know who I am. I don't want to say it, but there are some things you analyzed yesterday. But you know what? The truth is, okay. Let me just. I'll just give you a bit of an understanding. Yeah.
Go for it.
After Obasanjo left, Nigeria was aligning towards China. As we're aligning towards China, we're developing our infrastructure. We're selling everything to become privatized. We're doing semi-privatization like they did in China. The Americans realized that we're leaving. So those files you were reading the other day, I think it was 2 days ago or yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
You were reading, yeah. Most people in the group took their money and hid in the Western world because they didn't trust the Chinese. The Chinese were willing to keep the money for them. If you remember, there was a time oil money was missing with the Chinese company. The money was supposed to be kept there in the Chinese banks. However, because most African politicians were scared of the death penalty and nothing, they didn't want to put their money there. They wanted to put it in the Western world. The American intelligence picked up that almost everybody have their money in the Western world. So they blackmailed everybody, both PDP and the opposition party members, forced them to work with whoever become your president now and get him into power. That's why you're going to keep seeing defection. If you notice, since Jonathan time, the rate of defection among political party members, key political party figures that you think that will never change, started shifting.
That's right.
They go wherever the power is. Because there is credible files on them, how they got their money, where they got their money, and they are held in Western banks. And anytime they try to talk, they open their files for them and say, listen, you either do as we tell you to do, or we seize your money. That's why you can see people keep parading, what's her name, the former oil minister, what's her name?
Yes,
the one they are parading in London. Was this Dezani that approved the oil? Was this Dezani that released the oil?
It wasn't.
Was this Dezani that lost the ship? She was not the only person involved. So you're dealing with a group of people that are under an influence and they cannot do otherwise. Because, like I told you the other day, until the day they get to a point where they can look beyond what they're going to eat and how much they're going to make and decide that even if I die, I would rather
I'll stand on the right of.
I'll stand on it. Yeah. And that is why they will never let somebody like Showore near that presidency. They will not let somebody like Peter Obi near there.
No.
The reason why I told people that the NSA is going to be the next president, because I know some things that most people don't know. He handed over the files to the people that are controlling the other people. And he's also had the file on himself. Where is the former EFCC chairman? Where is he now? Has anybody heard about him? He's still in prison. He's languishing in prison. And nobody talks about it.
You mean Magu?
No, Magu, the young man that was running around from Port Harcourt that they made EFCC chairman during Bwala time. Where is he?
Oh,
not Magu.
I actually heard that. What is his name again?
You remember? You know the guy I'm talking about.
I do. I will try to remember the name. How did that just kind of disappear? But yeah, it was a crook himself too.
Yeah, he was a crook.
In the Aso Rock as well, just like they did to my
Bawa. His name is Bawa. Somebody just put it there. Bawa.
Bawa, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Where is he now? How did that guy disappear from nowhere? You see him, he's going to come back again. Once he agrees and sign the agreement, he's supposed to sign, release some of the money he has to sign. Whatever Western intelligence that has him will decide, okay, you know what, we'll support you and continue. That's why I say people like you, I'm surprised that you're getting certain information that you're not supposed to get for some reason, but however you got them, I'm not going to dispute and I'm going to deny, but I would say there are things that people don't really understand. Like I said, the only people that will destroy the system are people from inside the system. It takes one person to say, you know what, I'm going to get to the top and I'm willing to die. The question people still have not answered. Thank you. Nobody have answered two questions. Where is DNA report of how Abiola died? And where is DNA report of what killed Abacha? Until Nigerians know what killed those two people, what is holding them will keep holding them down. Go and check. The same people that came for Buhari's election came before Abacha and Abiola died. There was some particular government, Western government, that sent emissaries to Aso Rock the week the Abiola died and Abacha died. Before 2015 election, they sent emissary again. But this time not to Jonathan, but they sent to somebody. And this is where Nigeria ended up. That's just my contribution for today. I won't take much of your time.
You've done well. We know we have a CIA asset to start with. We just don't know how many are there that have been strategically positioned in different parts of the country, including institutions, judges, and others. And
the
also
truth is that they're going to pass. They're going to pass the tax law. They're going to pass all that tax law. They're going to pass that tax law. They will pass the tax law.
We shall see. Thank you so much.
You see the tax law? They will pass it. What they're doing now is they're getting all the detail of all the northern elite. They're going to tell them, this is what we want. If you don't want it, all your assets will be seized. This one is crying about Tinubu trying to enforce new. They've already taken them over. The moment you put two emirs here, you've created the confusion you needed. He has a Diron to deal with. Yeah. Thank you. He's already done what he has to do. The only emir left now is Sultan of Sokoto. He's going to get rid of that one. If it was before, how many times Sultan of Sokoto goes to see Buhari? He hasn't come to Aso Rock anymore. But yeah, let me not take much of your time today.
Thank you very much.
You're doing fantastically well. Keep chipping on the wood.
Probably just expose too much in a way that it becomes so ordinary. I get you. Stay safe, man. All right. Thank you very much for calling in. Wow. So the line remained open to everyone who wants to add their own contribution again to what has been said, either tonight or even before tonight. But always remember, you should like the broadcast when you still can before the night finally wears out. Okay. Thank you so much to every one of you. And also a big thank you to that individual that just got me an added a cup of coffee. Thank you. So I do have another caller though. Hello.
So, Michael.
Oh, Charm. I thought you were on sabbatical.
You're not always on show.
I know you will always. So if you need a break, I've told you, please take a break. Or you always come back. The Bwala is not leaving us yet. So
no,
if you
not
take
yet.
a day, 2 days, even a week, whenever you return, you're still going to have to come back to the old mess, unfortunately.
My God, you know what kind of like broke my spirit? I don't know whether to say it broke my spirit, because I think listening to your show and all the interactions that we've had, it didn't come as a big surprise. But what further just I don't know did it for me was, after the news broke about Tinubu's status as a current and active CIA asset, right? I took a pause. A day after, I checked Arise. Nobody carried that news.
Yes.
Channels, nobody carried that news.
Nope.
And it was at that point I said, oh my God. If the all talking about Tinubu's current status as a CIA asset are independent media resources like yourself, David Udine, and all of that, and the main people that need to be discussing these things have kept mute. It's now obvious that we have a massive problem,
yes.
right? And you know, the CIA assets they keep talking about, and why they don't want us to know the details of all the other people is just like your previous scholar said, we don't know how many people are their assets. We just know that it's been confirmed that Tinubu is a current and active CIA asset, but we don't know all his collaborators, right? And we don't know more. We can only allude to the fact that there are, just because of the way the country is at the moment, that there are multiple assets in that country working for the interest of this foreign entities.
Foreign agents. You're right.
Yeah, for these foreign entities. And it kind of, you know what? Listening to everything just kind of like broke my heart, because it's like a lot of our people have gone to the afterlife, died, living and everything, believing that they had a country. When in actual fact, we don't have a country. We don't even have the basic freedom that is required to call ourselves citizens of a country. Because we cannot say that we are free when we're not even allowed to, when we're not even in charge of who we elect. When the people who are being elected are the people that they want, right? It reminds me of that whole dynamic between the field Negroes and the house Negroes, right? Because as it is, what we're doing right now is electing it's electing house Negroes, right? Those ones that feel like, okay, they're now in the corridor of power. And then instead of them to help their own people, they do even worse just to please their paymasters.
Yes.
That's the situation that we're in right now in the country. And to see that you have the media entities who didn't say anything, right? Who didn't even call, even, you know, like just even a little bit of a highlight. Okay, this is what is out there. This is what is trending, right? None of that. Silence. That was just, nobody said anything.
Yeah,
and it was at that point I was like,
the audience is pretty much, the audience has been so saturated with other distractions. Somebody said the News Central carried it, or maybe just like briefly or something. You know, something like this is, if you look at the way CNN, your legacy media in America always operates, they can run for a whole week, a whole month.
No, and you know, some things that
squeeze out information from the from this presidency themselves. You know that.
Absolutely, and it also sets the ball in motion for a lot of things. You can't have somebody in the highest office, right, being an active CIA agent, and in this 21st century, where they tell us about diversity and equality and all of that bullshit, right? But you're telling a whole people from a whole country that they are not entitled to know the details of that, your interaction with this person. You know, how racist can you be? How, you know, dismissive can you be of over 200 million people who should know what the status of the people of the person who is occupies the highest seat in the office, what that relationship is with you, right? And how it impacts their own, you know, day-to-day living. We don't even need you to tell us. We see what is happening. The economy is practically destroyed. Anyway, the reason why I called today was because of Kwakwanso and the so-called northern elite, right? They've been ruling this country, but they've been in power for how many years? For decades, right? They've been in power for decades. They've impoverished their people. They've kept their people illiterate. They've kept them, what they call it, they put them in a whole multidimensional mess. Like you said, they are the capital of the world's capital of
poverty. They want to
poverty.
put Nigeria on the map,
right?
Now. The poverty capital of the world.
The poverty capital of the world. Now, you're crying that somebody is coming to colonize the North, right? When you had it within your own power to ensure that even if you wanted to be discriminatory to the rest of the so-called Nigerian entity, but to your own region, you kept them underdeveloped, illiterate, impoverished. From every metric, your people are not doing well, right? The only people that are doing well are the so-called northern elites. Now, here comes in Tinubu with all his stupid tax policies, and guess what? You can't do anything about it, right? And then the people,
no.
Well, the people that you could have relied on, if they had the education, if they had the literacy, if they had the exposure, you can't rely on them because they're illiterate. What do they know? How can you? What do you tell them exactly that is happening? That will be able to. They have the capacity to understand. They don't, and this is as a result of their poor governance, even for their own selves. So they are now reaping the benefits of their stupid actions, and he's coming to cry. He hasn't started crying. You should go and buy buckets. The crying is still coming. The crying that is going to cry.
It's called you are in for a long thing. That's exactly what we are in right now. And nobody is going to be scared. Everyone
exactly nobody, and every single one of them is going to collect, and it will become more apparent to anyone who is watching whatever is going on in the country that the best solution is actually a separation. Whether we do it peacefully or whether we do it, the other way, it's up to us. But that is what is going to happen. Anyone who is waiting for 2027 that they're going to run against APC, like you've been saying, you're just a joker. Just forget about it. You already have. You have the examples all around you. You have Edo State, you have Ogun State, you have all of these places, APC winning up and down the whole place, almost going unchallenged. And you think that when 2027 rolls around, you're going to have a chance. The chance that we have right now is to get Tinubu out of government, get him and all his merry men out of that place. Otherwise, you're just.
That seems to be
I don't know what
thing as we speak. Somebody said, you know what somebody said? They said, "But Mayegu, don't forget that at a point, PDP was like this too. That they were so confident, right? That Nigeria will become a one-party state. That they were so confident that they actually announced that they will rule Nigeria for 50 years uninterrupted. But look what happened to them. I was like, okay, the difference PDP self-destruct. APC in this regard will need to self-destruct as well, right? But
I don't even think that we even need APC to self-destruct. We just need the separation of the country, even if it's just for a time being. Whether it comes from the whether it is facilitated by the self-destruction of APC, right? Maybe not. We don't know. But what is very clear is that we need to get APC out of there, Tinubu and his merry men, the people that we can already identify as useful idiots in whatever is going on, because it's there. Your so-called pastors, your so-called imams and everything, people like Dada, all of these people that have made themselves visible that we know, even let me just tell you, Bianca Ono, that one, all of them, everyone that has put their hand in this government, everyone that we can identify is a useful idiot and an asset, and we don't need them in the next republic. That's my contribution.
I appreciate that. So I'll take another one. Somebody said that you are addicted to Mayegun, that's why you can't go yet. I was like, maybe not. Are we not all addicted to, to know what is going on? Anyway, Charm, you take it easy, okay, and have a good night. Here is another caller, and I believe this is Adeola. Hello.
Baba fan, wishing the share. Wishing the saw.
Same, honestly. Same old. Inside.
My dad, my side did title. My side did title. My side. I go well. Everybody they para tonight on top of everything on this CIA asset and all that kind of stuff, man. It is, every nation, that hasn't developed has CIA agents or CIA stations in all. A lot of African countries have a lot of CIA agents stationed in those places, and it's only with a trained eye you see a lot of Westerners that will come in the guise of investors, and they will infiltrate your media. So what Charm said is valid because I also did the observation. All the supposed credible news outlets have not been able to, deliver that news of the documents released by the courts, which is unimaginably, disturbing. Yes. So this is not, Maigun said it all. People are carrying rumors. These are valid court documents under the Freedom of Information Act that's been served, and it was a response from the CIA. So, Maigun, let me not miss my point here. My point is, a useful exercise is to see the investors in our so-called media houses. You'll be shocked, Maego. I'm telling you, confirmer. You'll be shocked, the investors that hold a lot, of our media outlets. You will see a lot of silent Western investors, and that's what they do. They come into a country, they'll swamp your media, they'll invest in your media. So when you see someone, that is not your skin color coming to your country to invest in your media organizations, Baba Rono, they are who they are. They are CIA station, guys. That's what they do. They take over your media. So they make your country moribund. The new Michael, I was talking to some of my friends, and they were like shocked. We don't even know that, this news broke out. They cannot know because their media has been captured. The media has been captured.
It's controlled.
It's controlled by foreign investors. And if you see, Michael, a useful exercise is to see those people pushing capital into our media organizations. You'll be shocked, the identity. You'll be so shocked that they will come and say, oh yeah, we want to help you to train your blah, blah, blah. We want to give you capital. We want to give you blah, blah. By the time they invest heavily in your news outlets, you are beholden to them. There's only so much you can report. There are so many people that are compromised in a leadership system that are CIA agents. It's just who is who. There's some low-level agents, Nigerians that are reporting on a daily basis to their masters. So the only way is to break the whole system down. Tinubu, I said before, the last time, the Russian called them Police Durak. He's a useful idiot. He will continue to be a useful idiot until they don't need him anymore. And like I mentioned last time, Nigeria is part of the cards they play there's no point in collecting information if you would not monetize it, either strategically or for your own financial gain. And when countries like that collect information and have agents, embedded in the system, is to eventually monetize it or weaponize it. So it depends. And Nigeria carries multiple of it. You can weaponize it and you can also monetize it. Choose it. It's like Richard Pickens for the Americans right now. Tinubu is just operating based on the conditionalities given to him for borrowing funds. So if he's going to tax everybody, those are the conditionalities attached to the borrowing.
I expected them to react to the IMF that said these policies are not working. They said that, but they didn't. But they've unleashed all of the weapons in the arsenal against Obasanjo that calls for, the removal of the INEC leadership, and then mock the economic policies of thiefnubu. They've unleashed all the arsenals on him, but they have said no pim about the IMF that said their policy is actually worse up to this moment.
See, the IMF, they have an agenda. They will only say, see, for me, it's surprising that you would rely on external financial agencies to direct your affairs.
Honestly.
The moment external financial agencies start directing your affairs, you are done for. That means you do not have any autonomy. And autonomy is when you decide what policies you want to push out. Is when you want to decide what tools would work for your economy or what you want to adopt, even if you fail. Fine, you fail, but you still retain autonomy.
But no,
yes, you still retain autonomy. Sir? Yeah, of course. Baba, good night, sir. God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much again, all right, for stopping by. You see, there are those who make things happen and they can own their mistakes and they are willing to admit to them. When you're like, oh, I think we were wrong with that idea. So if it is not working, then let us take it back and try something else. For these guys, it is as if to say they are on a mission. I don't think it is as safe anymore. It is that they are on a mission to wreck everyone. And it's also, it's like they are in a hurry to do that. Wreck everyone and then deny it or even blame you for why they destroyed the economy. They blame it on you. Here is Chief Adeola from Canada. Is that you, sir?
Correct. You're wonderful.
Brilliant. I'm getting used to your ID. So, how are you, sir?
I'm well, very well, thank you.
Really
I know your time is fast spent. Thank you. Another good one today. I know your time is fast spent, but let me just drop a few things, especially regarding the remittance that government is aiming at right now. Now, there's a saying in Yoruba that Wafefa will rely on. And they are going to see the Kojaye ni Onori Keke. Now, if you look at the federal government foreign currency revenue, diaspora remittance rank was very, very high.
That's right, sir.
And mark my word, those are voluntary because we have families back there.
Yes.
Now, with this kind of policy, government will push a lot of people into extreme poverty. Maybe it will actually hasten how our people back home will react to this. Most of the middle class Nigeria referred to today, the small fabric of middle class that is left, because most have left, which is us. We are trying to build, I'm talking about the diaspora now. We're trying to build a small fraction of middle class back home. Now, let me tell you, as you do too, I know you a lot of the people that are, small businesses that are still surviving in Nigeria, they are mostly owned by people in diaspora or supported by people in diaspora.
Or subsidized by us. No joke,
Yes.
no doubt, sir.
Now, look at Uber. I know most people abroad have one or two cars, and the purpose is to support people instead of begging or asking for money anytime. Educated youth, because why I say that one far will rely on, the explosion will be very, very quick because the impact of that decision will affect mostly the old people, our parents, and our youth, our younger brothers that we left at home. And that will trigger a very quick reaction. So let's tell them to continue. Now, most of the businesses that are thriving, who are buying houses in Nigeria today, who are building, there are people in diaspora.
Mostly, yes.
We'll talk about farming. Most of the farms that is coming up in response to scarcity of tomatoes, I know a lot of people, they are now doing into farming. I know a lot of people that are into real estate. They don't live there. They can keep their money here. They can afford not to go back. But they are doing this to help the economy grow in Nigeria. Talk about B&B. Many of their houses that they build there, they use it for temporary revenue, just to keep people employed, to keep economy running. Look at most of the lounges. They are owned by friends from UK or the US. Even they don't live there. They just open it to engage people. That is not enough for government. The moment we withdraw all those things in Nigeria, yes, some family members we suffer. We pay hospital bills. We pay police bills. We do things from here to sustain those people. Tuition, school fees, yes. The moment we're forced to keep our money back here, we have no obligations to remit monies to Nigeria.
No.
This is the country doesn't even know we're out in the first place. So it's easy.
Out there.
They don't even know the people back in Nigeria, talk less of people that are abroad. So it's a welcome development for me. Though the impact will be terrible, but there's always a positive light in anything. It will trigger something better to happen. Let them continue with it. If we can withdraw our money, keep our money back for 6 months, that policy will change right away.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
God
I have
bless
to
you. From
check
that
out.
perspective, you actually just shone light on there. Thank you so much. I have never thought it that way, honestly speaking. I'll take my last call now. And that is going to be, I think, MOG. Is that you?
Yeah, good evening, my good.
Oh, good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very fine, thank you. After listening to the guy that called before Charm, and one or two things he said. You know, last time I disagree with him when he said they are preparing to bring Reba to the next one. You know, I begin to believe him now because it's getting scary. It's getting
Some
scary.
things
You
are
know,
beginning to kind of like play out to the point that is adding up to you, for you now, right?
it's getting scary. You know, I begin to ask myself, who knows the agreement El Rufai and his people went to White House to make with Americans that when they want to push out Jonathan, are beginning to, because the guy that flew in for Buhari was campaign manager of Obama.
That's right.
You know, and this time around, you see, like from that guy said that all their money is there. All their money is there and they are scared. And for me, these guys are greedy. They don't even want to let go at their age. Had it been they want to let go, they will be playing for what these guys are, how these guys are playing them like tennis ball, and be giving their people food, knowing that their people are the only people that will fight for them. But this time around, you see, they are squeezing the people in Nigeria with hunger, and now trying to secure for their own children. That is selfishness and wickedness. I keep on saying it. They are old. They are already old. So what are they hustling for? What are they going to use this money to do? So since you want your country is like this, why not give people food? Feed your people so your people can fight for you and fight for the country when you're gone. But you see, these guys, they are still playing to. If you check it step by step, it begins to make sense to me now. Like from what Cham said, when they released the news about Tinubu being an active CIA agent, nobody, even Rufai, that his mouth is always sharp, never said anything. Nobody, just you and David Uday and other people that picked it up. Nobody has said it in Nigeria like I make it a case, make it a debate.
They're afraid of the NBC. They said NBC will come for them. I'm like,
so now,
hey, gosh.
Then now you go to money, you go to the money borrowing now. How can you be borrowing somebody money without that person having any handwork or work to do? And they keep on giving money.
Back. They do not have any
on April, because if you have work, you have plan of paying back. So you keep on giving somebody money that doesn't have any job. So and you see, immediately I keep on saying this. They are saying Nigeria have been having contract with Mercedes since long time. But immediately Tinubu came, he went to America. So who knows the agreement these people had with when they want to remove Jonathan. And if you remember, like, the 2023 campaign, Dino said, when P2B comes there, all of them will run away. So this they will not put P2B there. They rather celebrate P2B they rather celebrate P2B in the Western world and give us poison. That's what they are doing. So we think they are coming. Like our people will be saying, Western world. I hate that word. Western world. Come and see what is happening. Western world. Come and see. I hate to hear that thing.
They have all the embassies. They have ambassadors. They have people representing.
They have everything.
Those who are reporting back almost every day.
It's becoming scary. Okay, like now, I want to ask, please, can you clear me on this thing that are talking about our money here? We need to declare our money. So this my small account, they are paying me my work money. I have to declare it to them. Is that what they mean, or only the domestic account?
Yeah. What it means is that to be patriotic, for example, now, right? Put it this way: for people like us living here now, okay, we need when you send money. All right, you have to send it through the central bank. Central bank, like bank approved medium, okay? And if you have any domiciliary account in Nigeria that you put money into, you must declare it. You must declare that to them, or they will force your bank to declare them.
So even if you don't have a domestic account, are they going to take all your money too?
No,
The money they are paying you. So that means
no, they can't really. That's why I said it's so stupid of a thing when they said those who are not even living in Nigeria too must declare.
But you don't need to call it. You know why I'm asking this question? You don't need to call it stupid, because these people are backing them up. They have our data. They have our data. They know when we are leaving. They know when we are coming back. You don't understand. So if they are
airports, they will just say,
they will signal to them. They will give them the names of people. People are left because they know we have a amount. They know we have this money. So good night. I'm beginning to clear Nigeria. The only thing that will save Nigeria is now, I keep on saying it, tsunami. Everybody will start afresh or war. So these Westerners, we face the people that are super than each other. Thank you so much, Maegu.
Emoji. Thank you very much. You enjoyed your own evening as well. And to every one of us on the platform, thank you so much for your time. And good night. From here, I shall see you again tomorrow. See, the reason why you haven't seen me during the day is because our weather has changed in the UK. Here in Scotland, it's becoming more cold, freezing, and I tend to be more like sleepy in the afternoon. You know, it's more or less like when the kids are no longer in school. So I'm mostly like, I'm just going to take a nap. And before you know it, taking a nap around 11, and instead of me waking up around 12 to get ready to come here for the brunch time, somehow I just feel so cozy under that blanket. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to wait till after 12 or maybe 1. Oh no, I think I'll just leave it till later in the evening. So pardon me until I get adjusted, until I adjust to the change in weather. You are likely not going to be seeing me, for the brunch time. It's not a totality like that, okay? But I just wanted to know why I've not been frequent. The weather has changed, so is my system changing. Anyway, thank you so much again for spending your evening with me. I will see you again. Until then, stay safe and take it easy. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Mayegun Diary, Diary politico. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òkúra olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràgì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Àyè.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣeré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣeré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.